Most advertisers set up Google Merchant Center once and then they just never touch it again. But if you're running shopping ads or performance max campaigns, this is the account that you should be checking every single week. Because if Google Merchant Center is not set up and optimized the right way, your campaigns are never going to perform the way that they should. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to set up and optimize Google Merchant Center step by step live in the account so your products stay approved, show up more often, and send better data into Google Ads. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Max, the founder of Kraken Digital. We're a Google Ads agency for e-commerce brands, and this is the exact framework our team uses across every account we manage. So the very first thing we're going to walk through today is your store quality and also the add-ons beside that. Now, your store quality is going to be the thing that anchors your optimization as you move forward and guides you to figure out the things that you need to improve a little bit more to make sure that you're really anchoring yourself with good fundamentals on Google. And then we're going to walk through all of the specifics as well as we go through to make sure that those fundamentals are dialed in. So store quality, that's number one. To get to store quality, you want to go through the navigation menu, products and store, and then store quality. I'll show you live in just a second. As you can see here, if we go into products and store, and then we go under store quality here, you can see that under store quality, it will show you exactly how your store ranks against other stores in your industry. You can see this one here is exceptional, of course, because we always are trying to get all of our client stores up to exceptional store quality. And what that means is you get the top quality store badge, which is very, very high leverage on Google, because in your shopping listings, you can sometimes get shown this top quality score badge and in other places on Google as well, which points you out and shows customers, consumers that you have a really high quality store that can be trusted. Not many stores, honestly, very, very few, probably less than, I'd say 1% of total stores on Google Ads have this badge. So when you can show that badge, it looks like really high quality. Now, how do you optimize everything in the store quality tab? Well, it's based on all of these different factors here, and you want to be getting them all up to the highest standard possible. You can see over here, these are the things that we want to look at. So you can quickly assess your store's overall quality score. If you're looking at exceptional, that is where you want to be. Great is still good, but the only way to get this top quality store badge is by having exceptional store quality. Good, fair, and low, right? These are the different stages you can be at. Now, you want to make sure, like I said, you've earned that top quality store badge if possible. If you haven't, you should be optimizing towards it. You're scored against the merchants in your location and your vertical based on these 5 factors. So your shipping experience, your return experience, your browsing experience, your store rating, and your purchase experience. Now, these are all based on different factors, all fairly self-explanatory, but first of all, shipping experience is your delivery time and cost. So how quickly can you deliver and how cheap is it to deliver? It will be ranked against the other people in your industry or niche or vertical, so you need to make sure that you are always on top of it and delivering the best quality delivery options to your customers. Next up, your return window and your costs. Do you have a long return window? And what is the cost of your returns? Ideally, you want a really long return window and a really low cost to return. Browsing experience, so how many images do you have for each of your products? And what is a resolution on these images that you have in there? Do they all look good? Is everything high quality in your merchant center? Do you have lots of options for Google to choose from? Your store rating, based on ratings from customers, I'll walk you through in a sec, and your purchase experience. So how many payment options do you have available, and your promotion rejection rate. So you're going to be entering promotions in Google Merchant Center, which we'll walk through later on. You need to make sure that all these promotions are always valid. If you're getting rejected promotions, it's not going to help your store experience. If you don't have the top quality store badge, review Google's recommendations to improve your rating. So we'll give you recommendations on what you need to improve in order to get that store badge. And I'll show you that right now. So you can see here, shipping experience, like we said, you want to be at the better side of the shipping experience compared to other people in the industry. So 7 days shipping in this industry is relatively good. And as a result, we get a good shipping experience. Shipping cost, $4 in this case, which is very close to the higher level in this industry in particular. You can see between $1 and $0 is ideal. So if you have free shipping, that's great. But in this case, it's still a very low cost to most customers. Return window, you can see a lot of returns set at 30 days here, but if you do have a return window longer than 30 days, it's very beneficial because you're above most advertisers, and your return cost as well. Purchase experience, like we said, browsing experience, and then store rating. Store rating is based on your store ratings, which we'll walk through later. These are customer-based ratings on how people like your store, essentially. Now, if you can get all these up to your great, good, exceptional levels, that's how you get the exceptional overall store quality. You can see exactly where you may be lacking. Now, in this case, for example, you can see everything really is at the higher level, and that's why we have that exceptional rating. But some things, if we, let's say we only had a great store rating and want to push it up, we'd be wanting to look at the ones that are the lowest down in the spectrum. So for example, delivery time. If we could shorten that delivery time from 7.2 days to a little bit shorter, that would be fantastic. Again, return windows, this is an even easier one, right? If we can extend that window to 60 days, that'd be very beneficial on Google as well. And all these other factors, you can see exactly where you set in your industry. So make sure that you have a high rating and you're above the majority percentiles to get the better ratings. Now, outside of store quality, next one is GMC add-ons. This is one thing I wanted to go through quickly because it's related to what we just mentioned with the store quality. So within GMC add-ons, you'll find them under navigation menu, settings, and add-ons. I'll show you in a second. Free product listings, customer reviews, and product ratings. These are the important ones you want to look at. So if we go under settings and add-ons, this is how you can add on these different parts that you may not already have in your Google Merchant Center. So you can see they're not visible in here right now because we've already added them on. So they'll be under the Your Add-ons tab. You can see here, local listings, for example, I believe I mentioned back here, or free product listings rather, I believe I mentioned, which is usually, there you go, free local listings. And then product ratings, like I said. So local listings is basically just showing in Google business profiles and basically for local pickup. Product ratings is the ratings from your products. So on your Shopify store, I'm sure you have ratings for your products where your customers leave reviews and leave you star ratings. You can import these ratings into Google Merchant Center by using a approved third-party aggregator. And that can be something like Trustpilot, something like Judge.me, all Luke's reviews, all those different kind of review tools. There's some of the review tools can integrate directly with Google. Some of them require a third-party submission. So basically you get in touch with the aggregator and then they sort it out for you. There's a few different ways to go about it, but when you have this product ratings not enabled, you'll get an option to submit an interest form. Once you submit the interest form, it gives you the instructions on how to add the product ratings. Very important, they go a very long way. When you can show ratings on your products, it looks very, very professional. Next up, promotions. I think I mentioned this one earlier. Customer reviews as well, sorry. So Google customer reviews is basically what reviews people leave for your website and for your brand as a whole on Google. Now you can display them within your ads. Again, it shows sometimes your store rating within your Google ads to show that you are a trusted store. And that's outside of the top quality store badge, but another scoring system. And then also promotions. Now you should already have your promotions enabled, but they're the biggest add-ons that you really want to focus on. Make sure you have all of them enabled. And if you don't already, make sure you follow the instructions from Google to get them switched on. Now, business information. This is a really, really fundamental one and foundational one that a lot of people miss because they don't realize just how important it is. So if you go into your business info, I'm not going to click in there right now because it's all just sensitive info for this specific client. So you can see if you do go in there though, you'll have the option to first of all put in your business details. So this is very straightforward stuff like your address, like your business name, like your phone number, contact email, all that kind of stuff. Make sure everything is in there and everything is aligned with what you have on your website. Very, very important that your business details in Google Merchant Center are the same as the ones that you feature on your website, and make sure that you do feature them on your website. If you don't show your business details, like your address, like your phone number on the website, contact number on the website, people are not going to trust you for one, but also Google's not going to even allow you to essentially run on Merchant Center. You need to have your business details on your website in order to show that you are a trusted and genuine real store, right? So make sure your business details are accurate. If they're not accurate, if they're not aligned with the website, you will get flagged. You'll probably get a misrepresentation ban, and those are such a pain to deal with, so you don't want that. Next up, your website. Under the same setting there, under settings and business info, you will see under there that you can enter your online store. Now this is where you enter your URL, and you need to make sure that you have entered your URL, your URL is correct, and it's verified and claimed. You get to verify and claim the URL by essentially either putting a specific piece of code on your website or using a certain tool that Google has. Very, very straightforward. All you have to do is go into the settings there, click on the website, click verify, click claim, follow the instructions, it'll all be done. But make sure you do that as well, because if you don't claim your website, you're gonna run into issues once again on Google. These are fundamental settings. You must get them filled out. Please do not skip this. If you do, you're gonna run into trouble. Shipping and returns. Now we mentioned before that shipping and returns are very, very important when it comes to optimizing for the top quality store badge on Google. In order to fix up your shipping and returns, first of all, you want to go to the products and store tab, shipping and returns, and then return policies to look at returns. So under here, shipping and returns, return policies. Now you can see in here that we have a standard return policy for Australia. These guys just sell in Australia, and that's set up, that's verified, and that's entered, and it's applied to all of our products. Now you can see, make sure that you have a return policy in here, and make sure once again that the return policy is aligned with everything on your website. If there are any inconsistencies between the return policy on Google Merchant and the return policy on your website, there will be issues. Make sure you actually show your return policy on the website as well. It needs to be clearly linked so people can access it at any time, and Google can access it as well if they are reviewing your return policy. Now, your return policy must be set up for every country you show shopping ads in. So in this case, we're only showing in Australia, so that's all we got. But make sure that if you are in other countries as well, make sure it's set up for every single country. Add exceptions to products with different return rules. So if you do have products that have specific return exceptions, make sure that you add exceptions for them. You can do that within this tab here. You can do it within your specific policy, or you can add different policies that apply to those products. And make sure that you are checking this regularly, because if you do update your return policy and you don't update, if you update it on your website, but you do not update it on Google Merchant Center, again, you'll run into problems because of the misalignment there. Google is constantly sending crawlers to your website to make sure that everything is aligned between Google Ads, Google Merchant Center, and your website. And if you have any inconsistencies, you'll run into trouble. Shipping. So for shipping, you want to go into the shipping policies tab here. Under the shipping policies tab, you'll be able to add shipping policies for all of your different regions. Now you can see this is automatically imported the shipping policies from Shopify, which is fine because they are accurate. However, in a lot of cases, you may not want to do this because it may basically make your life a little bit more difficult. If you are finding that you are getting any shipping policy disapprovals or shipping policy issues, I'd highly recommend turning off the Shopify and GMC shipping automation, so the automated sync. So basically on Shopify, you want to go into sales channels, Google and YouTube settings, product feed settings, shipping settings, and then manually set up shipping information in GMC. It's very easy to set up manually. All you have to do is add a shipping policy, go through the settings and lay out the country, the cost, and the products it applies to, and obviously the shipping time as well. And once you lay all those out, you can create a shipping policy for as many countries as you like. Again, make sure you have a shipping policy for every country that you sell to. Cross-check your shipping info on the live site against GMC. Once again, site has to always be aligned with GMC. Very, very important. I cannot emphasize that enough. This is how we run into the most issues when it comes to overall account suspensions or disapprovals. It usually occurs when people don't have alignment between their website and the Google Merchant Center. Shipping must be set up for every country, like I mentioned. Make sure your costs and delivery times are accurate, your cutoff, your handling. So you do have to put in the cutoff time for your shipping, the handling time for your shipping, the transit times. It does sound a little bit complex, but I promise you it is very straightforward once you go through the shipping setup. And highlight any holiday or special delivery guarantee. So if anything's changing over the holidays, if you're doing any kind of sales, if you're doing any promotions, and if shipping times are delayed because of specific sales or times of year, make sure that you enter that in on Google Merchant Center. Additional settings. There's one other thing I want to cover as well quickly for you. So if you go into the additional settings we are going to settings, access and services, then apps and services. Let's see under here, settings, access and services, apps and services. Sorry about that. Pop it in there. Make sure that if you are in the US, link PayPal. So linking PayPal in here helps you get much better approvals from Google, and it helps you show yourself as a top quality store. Once again, the top quality store is based on the amount of payment methods that you have available. So if you do link PayPal, it certainly helps you. If the store isn't on Shopify, link your GA4. So in this case, we're on Shopify, so we haven't linked it. But if you do need to link GA4, then go ahead and do that just so you can see any organic conversions that are tracked by GA4. And link your Google business profile if relevant. So if you have a Google business profile, link it in here as well. Make sure that you are giving Google every single piece of information you can, because the more you give it, the more happy it will be with you. Next up, reviews. So like I said, this one is very important and a lot of brands miss it. A lot of brands never even do it, and they're missing out on huge, huge potential, because when you are showing up with reviews on your product against competitors who are not, you are always going to look like the more trusted option. So if you go into settings and add-ons and product ratings, like I said before, now we've already got it under here, we've already got it set up. You can see under these product ratings, make sure that first of all, you search your brand product on Google to confirm the reviews are showing. So once you've set up these reviews, make sure that you search for your product on Google. So you just go straight to Google, obviously in your region where you're advertising, make sure you're in the region that you are advertising, or you set a VPN to the region you're advertising. Search for the product and make sure the reviews are showing up. Now they won't show up every single time on every single search, but there's a very high chance that they will show up if they are set up correctly. If they're not showing, then do a bit of digging and check that they are set up correctly on the back end. Under all reviews, make sure your reviews are live. Under your diagnostics, confirm that most reviews are ready to serve, so they're not stuck in needs review or disapproved. Sometimes if you've imported reviews from certain platforms, Google may not approve them. Google may flag them as fake or fraudulent. Make sure that all of your reviews do come from real people, because Google's pretty good at figuring out when they're fake. GMC's own reporting is pretty unreliable, so sometimes it may show that your product will show ratings on a Google search, but GMC says they're not set up yet. So do double check. Again, that's why it's very important to search your product on Google and make sure the reviews are showing. If you're not seeing those review stars on your product, then you can look into the back end. Product ratings and seller ratings are two very different things. So as I mentioned before, we have Google customer reviews and we have product ratings. So the product ratings are for the specific products themselves. They're imported from your third-party review aggregator or whatever you use to basically import your reviews. And they are the stars that you see inside a shopping ad. So when you see a shopping ad on Google and it has 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever it may be, that's your product ratings. The seller ratings are shown in organic search and shopping results, and they also feed into your experience scorecard, your total store rating, like I mentioned. Common aggregators, so you can use Trustpilot, you can use Judge Me, you can use Luke's reviews. There's a whole range of them. Basically, you just have to submit it off to Google. It does take some time to process, but when it does process, it will be very, very beneficial, and I really do recommend that you get this set up. If you do not, you'll be missing out on a huge potential revenue addition. Next up, products. So this is, again, incredibly important because these are the actual products that you are marketing on your Google Merchant Center. So in products, make sure you go to settings, data sources, and feeds. So under your data sources, you'll see all the different feeds that you have for your product. In this case here, we are using Symprocess to feed in all the products for this specific brand. Symprocess is a third-party tool that you can use in order to sync your products through a little bit more easily with sort of less issues and more customizability. You can also use a direct Shopify sync. Just be careful and make sure that all your fields are updated in Shopify and they're fed through accurately. You can also upload manually if you want. There are a range of different options you have here, but just check that you don't have any errant feeds in here, anything that's broken, anything that's feeding in from a long time ago, outdated, anything along those lines. Make sure it's all up to date. So make sure, like I said, which primary feeds exist, which countries they target, and how many products each has. So you can see here, countries targeted and the products within that feed. Identify the feed source. So like I said, in this case, Symprocess, but you may have Data Feed Watch, you may have Content API, which is a direct Shopify sync. You may have a manual upload, etc. Check for any supplemental feeds as well. So sometimes supplemental feeds may be present. If you've created one, it's basically going to feed in alongside your existing feeds and with different fields for your specific products. Confirm your pricing, your titles, and attributes are accurate within the feed. So make sure everything's feeding through correctly from your initial source. Needs attention. So this is where you find out if anything's wrong. So if you go to products in store, and then you go to products, and then you go to needs attention, you can see any issues that your products might be having at that point in time. You can see there are no issues on here that needs to be fixed from the prioritized standpoint at least. And the first thing you want to look at is those prioritized fixes. So if there are any really big issues you need to address, they'll be under prioritized fixes. But then you also want to go into the all issues. If you are having any issues at all in the account, you want to go to view all issues and you want to address those issues as they arise. If you sort by click potential, it'll show you basically the most important products to fix. So you'll see if we go into view all issues here, there'll be an option to look at the click potential. If the click potential is high, you want to fix those ones first because the high click potential means that you are basically missing out on a lot of clicks if it is broken. And I recommend checking this needs attention at least once a week, just making sure there aren't any issues in here because issues can pop up when you're not looking. And if you're not checking on it regularly, you could be getting throttled a lot in Google Shopping rather, and it could be significantly affecting your campaigns and your performance. Next up is promotions. So your promotions, again, are very important on Google Merchant Center, not only for your store trust and your top quality store badge, but also very, very important to make sure that you are just showing your sales when you have them running. If you go to navigation and you go to marketing and then you go to promotions, under promotions here, you will see all the promotions that you may currently be running. We aren't running any in this account right now, but what you can do is you can add promotions and you can create them. So if you are running any sales, they need to be in here. So every live promo on your website, any banners, any newsletters, anything that's mentioned anywhere on your website or for your brand should be set up in GMC if possible to do so. If that's a percentage off, if that's a free gift, if that's anything like that, make sure you set it up in your promotions so you're actually getting all those promotions showing in the shopping tab. Once again, if you are showing amongst a range of competitors in your shopping ads and you have promotions but another one doesn't, it's going to be a massive benefit to you. So you want to make sure they're all set up. If nothing is running, then I suggest running a small test promo with your store, just a little 10% off, 20% off, something like that. And if you run it on Google Merchant Center here, it'll help you get that trusted store badge. It'll help you show that you are running effective, accurate, and real promotions to give Google those trust signals. Every promo needs a clear, understandable title. If you have a vague title, you will get disapproved. We don't want that. Make sure only use the eligible products. So if you have a sale only on specific products, don't lump them all in. Only use the ones that the sale is on. Promo code you only need if it's not auto-applied at the checkout. Set your start and end dates. So you can't run infinite promos. You do have to put specific dates on them. However, you can kind of just create a promo for a certain date, and then when it lapses, you can create another one. So there are 3 ways that promotions do show up. You have that sale price or price drop based on the specific prices that you have. There's also the formal GMC promotions, so special offer stuff. So that pops up again in your shopping listings as a special offer. And then you have first order promotions, and these target never purchase users. So when you're using new customer bidding, you can get these first order promotions, which can be very, very helpful for targeting new people and selling to new people preferentially. Finally, you have analytics. So analytics is probably the most underused tab on Google Merchant Center, but it can help you get some insights into what is working for your business. If you go into your analytics here, you can see a summary. There's a few different things that you can look at. You can look at a traffic report. So that'll be on the main page here. You'll see the traffic you're getting to your store, and you'll see the products that you're getting traffic to. You can see your competitor report, which actually can be quite helpful too. So there's some competitor stuff. If you scroll down a bit here, you'll see some competitors in here who has similar visibility. Also, if you go on products, there's a competitors tab where you can view some more on your competitors. Again, this is just stuff that I recommend looking into just to get some data to figure out who else is running, where you're showing, what your share looks like, how much visibility you're getting. Very, very important to see how you're showing against your competitors in the Google Shopping ads. Popular products report, so you can look at your products under here once again, popular products, and you can see which ones are selling the most. I'm sure you probably have a good idea of what products are selling best for you, but you can see if you want to. Promotion report, so you can see which promos and products and promos are working the best. And you can also look at an audience report to see where your traffic's coming from, what the demographics are like, what the audience is like, what the ages, genders, all that good stuff. Now, this is what I recommend when it comes to reviewing Google Merchant Center. So weekly, you should be probably reviewing diagnostics and product approvals. So making sure that all your products are approved, everything's running smoothly, you don't have any needs attention, any issues that are stopping you from running on Google. Monthly, checking your store quality, shopping scorecard. So making sure that as you adjust these things, as you work towards becoming an exceptional store on Google with the right returns, the right shipping, the right promos, no promo rejections, payment methods, everything like that, you want to make sure that if you are working your way up to exceptional, you're checking in on your progress there and making sure that those bars are moving when you are fixing things. And then ongoing stuff, make sure your reviews are always in place and they're being fed through and updated. Make sure your promotions are always accurate, updated, and in date. And make sure that your feeds aren't breaking. This is something I see very often, is that someone will have a feed set up and it'll just randomly break one day for whatever reason, usually when it's a more manual setup. But do check that there aren't any feed, basically, issues that are stopping your products from feeding into Google Merchant Center. And that's it. That is a quick rundown of the most important things you need to make sure you are getting right in Google Merchant Center. I tried to make this quick for you guys so you had everything in a nutshell, an absolute crash course on it. There are even more intricacies of Google Merchant Center, but if you can nail all of these things, and if you use your store quality as your anchor metric to work from, it'll make it very, very easy for you. Once you reach that top quality status, that exceptional store status, it basically means your GMC is dialed in and you're good to go. So that is all for today. If you watch this video and you thought, wow, this is really helpful, but I don't have the time to implement all this, luckily we can help. Feel free to book a call with me down below if you want some help sorting out your GMC, if you just want some help running your Google ads, scaling your Google ads, getting to the next level, whether that's $100K a month, $1 million a month or beyond, we'd love to help you do so. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more of this, and if you have any suggestions for future videos, leave them in the comments below. But that is all from me on this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one.